up, everybody? Hello to Taste of Cincinnati. I'm hanging out here on the Listermann roof because this is kind of where we came from, this is where we started. And today I'd like to talk about where we're going. So I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but we are looking to open up a place down on 4th Street, along with some amazing chefs. Jackson Rouse and his team will be working with us on that future project. So in the spirit of Taste of Cincinnati, figured that we would talk about future pairings at that place with our beer and the wonderful rustic German food that Jackson Rouse and his team creates. Anyway, I'm going to dive right on in. Apologize, I'm going to have to read off of a couple notes because these dishes haven't technically been created yet. But this is what we're planning to do and planning to have at the new place. Anyway, so picked a couple beers that are kind of our trademarks, beers that we've had for a while, or beers that are going to work really well at our German-themed beer hall experience. So yeah, so let's start off with everyone's fan favorite in Cincinnati because of a gorgeous little baby hippo, Fiona. So we're talking about pairing Fiona with a lamb bacon wrapped white asparagus paired with a 3-minute duck egg that comes with puffed barley and an assortment of herbs, which will be quite delectable and quite delightful upon us making it. Another standard beer for us that is also the owner's favorite, Friar Bacon, everyone's favorite smoked bock in Cincinnati, probably one of the only smoked bocks in Cincinnati that I'm aware of. But we plan to offer a lovely duck liver Braunschweiger with a Fries and tipsy prunes to pair alongside that. So if no one's ever had Braunschweiger before, it is a quite delightful whipped organ meat experience, as duck liver is. And it is probably one of the greatest things you can put in your mouth, and we definitely would suggest that nice umami smoky character that you're going to get from the Friar Bacon. That smoked bock will pair perfectly with that dish. Moving on, we're going to move on to our beer Leicht, or Leicht beer. This is a German style, essentially means light beer. So it is a very low ABV, low calorie German European lager. It's quite crushable, crisp, and effervescent. So it's quite a lovely, delicate beer experience. So we're suggesting at our new place the pairing of apple fennel sauerkraut croquet that include black forest ham and a buttercasse center, paired with a fermented pear mustard. Jackson Rouse and his team are actually phenomenal with fermenting foods. They do a lot of curing and pickling as is. If you've ever had any of the charcuterie boards that Jackson Rouse puts out, a majority of those pickled and fermented things are all done in-house, and they're all absolutely excellent. So moving on from the Leicht beer offering, or the beer Leicht, sort of like our claim to fame, as it were, for Listermann, is Chicao. And so, of course, we're going to have a pairing with Chicao. And what we're looking to be doing is a Black Forest bonbon with a white chocolate hazelnut malt crumb dusting, topped with tart cherries. So I don't know if anyone's ever really attempted to use Chicao to pair with desserts, and if you haven't, I highly suggest you do. It is a great pairing, especially if you can find peanut butter ice cream or some kind of derivation therein. It tastes wonderful, but certainly look forward to this dessert pairing coming up in the next year plus. Moving on from that, since we are opening a beer hall, we're going to be putting out a little bit more German, European style beers and lagers. One of the ones that's dear to my heart and that we put out a couple times already is a Schwarzbier. Schwarzbier is basically a dark black lager that is crisp, clean, hints of chocolate, hints of roast, hints of coffee, but it's just very refreshing, not super high alcohol content, something that you can kind of crush on. Anyway, the pairing that we will have for this beer in the future is going to be a koji pork tenderloin. And so koji is actually is utilized in creating soy sauce. It's utilized in creating sake. So it's traditionally used in a lot of Asian cuisines that historically have had those types of products. And what we've found, and Jackson's been phenomenal with working with this, and of course this fermented food background, it actually makes meat, when you kind of sprinkle it on meat, it gives it that dry aged character to the nth power. It's absolutely wonderful. Anyway, so koji pork tenderloin, it's gonna be with a whipped salsify, burnt onions, pork neck au jus, and paired with pickled nigella and caraway. So that pairing, God, I'm salivating already for that pairing. It's going to be phenomenal, and highly suggest that y'all try it when it's available in the future. All right, we're going to move on now to another one of our sort of mainstays. Of course, most people who know us are also aware that we make a beer called Nutcase. So Nutcase is our American porter that we make with a lot of peanut butter in it. So Chef Jackson is going to create a peanut butter profiterole with a dark chocolate chicory glaze with the currant jam on top of that. So I can't think of anything a little bit more delectable than that kind of pairing right there. This delightful little sweet, savory, jammy pairing there. Well, moving on, we're going to move on to one of definitely what we call a pastry style beer. We did a collaboration with Bottle Logic out of Anaheim, California in the last year. So this beer is one phenomenal collaboration. Big shout out to Bottle Logic for hanging out with us. But we were also very blessed and lucky to do very well in the Great American Beer Festival in 2019. We entered this beer in the field beer category, and we were lucky enough. You know, the judges felt compelled enough to give us the gold medal for that one. So we're quite proud of that beer and quite proud of that collaboration. So of course we're going to put this on this list and create a great pairing for everybody. But anyway, the pairing for our scoring discrepancies, which by the way is, if you're not aware, is a raspberry peanut butter stout, 12%, big old beer. But our pairing for this is a milk chocolate sorbet with a cacao nib and dark chocolate shell with a sprinkling of black sea salt over the top. So that should be one of the greatest combinations of things you can probably put in your mouth at any point. So look forward to that. And I'm going to wrap up the list of future pairings with one of our sours and one of our more well-regarded sours, I would say. Calamansi sour. So calamansi is a very popular fruit in South Asia, particularly in the Philippines. It is sort of a cross between orange, tangerine, lemon, lime characteristics. So it's quite vibrant, acidic, but not overtly acidic by any means. But it's a nice, vibrant citrus fruit that if you haven't had the chance to at least experience, definitely go out and check it out on your own. But anyway, we do a kettle sour that we then add a lot of fruit into, a lot of calamansi into. But anyway, so that pairing that we will have is going to be a dry-aged duck breast with preserved kumquats, pickled mustard seed, spelt, and savory cabbage. And that sort of takes me to the end of that future listing, and I figure, you know, sort of the times as they are now, let's think, you know, let's look towards the future, towards you know, the time where we all can get back out and hang out with each other and share some delicious beers, share some delicious food, because what is the taste of Cincinnati but finding ways to pair those things together? And I get, you know, I guess wine and liquor too, but I would certainly prefer y'all to drink more beer than those things. Anyway, I'd like to give a shout out to Taste Cincinnati for asking us to do this and be a part of that. And I also want to thank everyone for watching this, and of course, everyone be safe for the next couple months. We're all in this together, and we'll get through this. Let's stay smart, stay safe. Love y'all. We'll see you on the other side. Cheers.